Hi everybody, this is Tom Peterson and I'm the Director of Technical Marketing here at NVIDIA, and today I'm going to show you a preview of GTX 480. So over here on this system we have a GTX 480 right here in the system. It's got the nice little LED. This is our new high-end graphics card that's going to be coming to market very soon. It's plugged into an X58 system running at about 3.3 gigahertz. It's got 6 gig of memory, so this is a pretty high-end system. Now over here I want to show you what's going on the system. So the setup we have here is showing first the device manager. There's a single NVIDIA GeForce GTX 480. And you can see it's plugged into an X58 motherboard with a Core i7-960 running at 3.3 gigahertz. So there's no overclocking, no overvoltaging on the GPU or the CPU. It's just a stock system. And I'm going to put Fraps up and run the Heaven benchmark. So let me go ahead and kick that off, and then I'll tell you what this is all about. Heaven is one of the first benchmarks that really does a good job exercising DX11. Let me go ahead and put this thing into benchmark mode, and I'll tell you what I mean. As an example in this scene, there's really not much going on that's exercising the GPU. But then there's scenes like this where you start seeing more detail in the terrain, more detail in the textures. In the scene like this, and also in the upcoming scenes, that's when GTX 480 really shines. That's when our tessellation hardware kicks in, and you can see a big difference between us and the competition. So this is the dragon scene, and what's happening is all of this geometry right here is done using a displacement map, and it's generated on the GPU, all tessellated geometry. What that means is, if I show you the base mesh, there's not a lot of geometry in the base image, and tessellation adds all this extra geometry that makes the dragon look real. The way to view that is if I turn on the mesh, you can see here all of the polygons. There's so many triangles here that it just looks like a white mess. That's tessellated in the sense that there's a lot of beautiful fine detail that's added by the hardware. When you turn off tessellation, you get just the base mesh, a very simple polygon array. The reason there's two images is you want a very simple geometry when you're far away from an object, right? You can't see the detail anyway, so you simplify it. Let me show you what that means. If I back up slowly, you can see the dragon all of a sudden gets really simple. And similarly, the geometry on the ground dramatically simplifies. As I zoom in, though, all of those triangles automatically come back and the dragon becomes beautiful again. So being fast on tessellation, being world-class on tessellation, that's really what DX11 is all about. And that's what we get with GTX 480. So look forward to it. I'll put a full benchmark results. We have it here. I'll share it with the world. And you can see I showed you this beginning scene. There's not much going on there. You kind of pulled out from the scene. You're just watching the world kind of spin around. But then when you get into the real business of the benchmark, when you're looking at the dragon, when you're seeing all that beautiful tessellation, that's where the real gap between us and 5870 shows up. Okay, so again, remember GTX 480, it's our new graphics card for the high-end business. So really excited, really looking forward to it, and you're going to see some great gaming. Okay, so there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Come on with me. We're walking through our little tech ad lab here. This is Andrew. Andrew, say hi.
Oh, hey.
Hey, everybody. Great. So over back here, we actually are showing GTX 480. And this is in another one of the main gear chassis, but we have GTX 480 SLI, there's two of them, and they're working together to render something that we call 3D Vision Surround. This is a new technology that's available with GTX 480, but it allows you to take three of these monitors running at 1080p and run them in stereo, which is really cool. Now, those of you that like to calculate, in stereo at 1080p at 60 frames a second is 750 million pixels a second. So we're close to the magic billion pixels a second, which is going to be pretty cool. Now what this allows you to do is when you put on these glasses, it'll cut one of the frames to your left eye and the other frame to your right eye, synchronizing from this little infrared transmitter. So when you look at this thing, it's like looking through the windshield of your car and watching the game in 3D. It's pretty darn cool. So new technology with GTX 480, I think it's going to be a big advantage for radical gamers.